Good morning. Today is April. It's June the 17th. We are in the Five Bogs. Today is a rainy day. They said it was going to stop raining. They lied. So I'm here making the best of the day as I can. Given the wetness factor, I don't know how the camera's going to operate, but we drove 2 hours to be here, so the bottom line is we're here looking for Bigfoot, and we'll see what we find. Bugs, ironically, not that bad. We're about 58 degrees, so I'm wearing the orange fleece more to keep the rain off me than anything else. But let's go look and see what we find and make the best of the day that we can. Thanks. Okay, we're back. I lied about the mosquitoes. They are now out in force. The rain is at drizzle level. And I'm on the meadow at the back side of bog number, I guess we'll call it 5. And it's looking pretty damn soggy in here, so I had planned to go over that way, but I don't know if that's a feasibility at the moment. Because if that's all one big freaking swampy sponge, for lack of a better word, and it sure as hell looks like it is. I already went through that beaver dam I've hit a few times, and it was quite a little obstacle today. My feet were surprisingly dry anyway, due to my own nimbility, if that's a word. And given the basically lackluster nature of the weather today, I don't really have a prescribed agenda. I'm just out here to see what I can see. I made the drive. I'm here. So, little orb weaver spider there. So we're gonna look. So far, it's me, the mosquitoes, and a. What have I seen wildlife so far? I saw a turkey on the way in. And although it's domesticated, I actually saw a sheep. So I'm going to throw that in there just to have that claim too. Yeah, the water here is looking high, only because it was like driving rain the whole way up. So to my credit, I didn't turn around. It was, sorry, it was basically looking bad enough. I hit the effort point and was going to turn around. Because there's no point in being out here trying to do videography when you're out in the driving rain, and you're gonna just like ruin your camera and your drone and whatever. So as it is now, allegedly mid-morning is supposed to get over itself to some degree and just be cloudy, but so far it's proving to be disagreeing with that notion and not doing that. And I'm trying to remember where I jumped this thing a while back and got over there. Although again, if it's just walking through this lovely neck knee deep, this is all turns to water. Where's that rock I saw before? Bear with me for a second while I get a mosquito off my eyebrow, and that all looks swampy as shit. Let's circle back over here, and if it's not there, I may say F it and move to greener pastures, and by that I mean drier pastures, I hope. Today is basically, you're making the best of what you have. So you have a pretty little view right there, if that captures it in its true glory. But I get the, let me Does that do it any better? But let's see if I can find that jumping point, because if not, as it is, my pants are going to be soaking wet all the way up to my crotch, just given the dew factor and the wet undergrowth. That's unavoidable. So, such is the way of things in the woods on a rainy day. But let's, if I don't find that jumping rock, as I'm already sinking into the non-solid ground, I don't think this is doable today, reasonably anyway. So we are going to do what I said and do the greener pastures thing, and I know this is kind of a redundant thing, but we're going to do that. So let's get out of the wetness. And let's look over here real quick just to see if there's a jumping point that's not swampy, because that's how I'm going to go in there, and that is a lot. That's actually deeper than it looks, because the grassy part of that kind of doesn't convey where the bottom actually is. That's, I mean, it's not, you're not going to drown in it, obviously, but it's wetter than I really feel like getting. It's not, I have a fleece on and I'm not sweating, put it that way. It's actually, you know, like mid-50s right now, so it's not freezing, but it's not balmy either. So while I'm whining about the weather, and rather than make the video all about that, because yes, it's rainy, we know it, whatever. Oh, I just don't trust any of this long enough to, really don't want to get that wet. I'm not going to do it. Call me a wuss if you want, but I'm not doing that. I'm gonna puss on this and go to another area. So we're going back over there, and we're going to head up, and we're going to head to another area. And we'll be back in a bit, because we're going to segment break while I do that. All right, we're back. We've changed locations, obviously. The other one, it's just swampy and wet in here today. So anything going on in the community, not really anything all that great, really. The only stuff I really have is I'm trying that hard is from the Bigfoot forums, where despite their admin's best efforts, yes, I still remain. And I hope they're listening to that and it bothers them. Anyway, they're holding out hope with Ketchum 2.0, and then there's some guy on there who has a very dubious photo, which is, according to him, proves the woo. Nothing proves the woo. The woo has not been proven. Sorry, just that's not my take on the subject. And you'd have to show me something really compelling for me to start going the paranormal route with Bigfoot. The problem is, I've actually friggin' seen what I believe to be not one, but like 2 or 3 of them. And yes, I have seen them do some weird shit. I will admit that. But, and I'm referring at least in part to infrasound. And I'll remind you of the weirdness of infrasound that I encountered in an area in Connecticut, as I almost fall on my ass for stupid reasons, during the course of the winter. And that was there, and it was measurable. And I just heard something. But in spite of the fact that people want to believe it's some kind of a paranormal thing, it was very real and very measurable, and I have yet to decipher the actual format that the application saved the files in, but I have the data. And there's no evidence that Bigfoot did this. I don't know honestly what did it in this case, but the thing of the matter is, can there be any more mosquitoes in here? As I literally almost swallowed one. I don't want to notice a mosquito bite on the back of my throat, it feels like. But I got some very real measurements for that, and infrasound apparently minus factors like hilly terrain, and that is a fairly hilly area, can travel approximately 300 meters per second, according to, well, science. And so it was a 3-second delay, so whatever the hell was making all that infrasonic racket was doing so from probably a measurable distance of somewhere between 800 and 900 meters away. Just under a kilometer. Again, source unknown. And the electrical area, which currently is not to my knowledge active, was a standing electric field related phenomena in an area basically to the northeast of here by several miles, but it was active and measurable for the better part of 4 years. So these things are out there, but they are scientifically explainable too. Although the infrasound one was definitely weird. I either need to keep moving or I need to leave the mosquito infested area, because once they know you're there, they are swarming in large numbers, and that is unpleasant, even if I do have DEET on. So when I say that I have seen weird shit, it's been, for the most part, identifiable. But that's why we call this a phenomenon or a mystery, though, because that's basically what it is. Because what I saw, though, was not paranormal. It was a upright, brown, fur-covered, it looked more like fur than hair, but upright, long arm having relatively simian hominid slash looking creature. But it was flesh and blood. It was solid. It was not non-corporeal. It didn't shift into stones or cloak or mind speak that I heard, although it may have beamed me with infrasound. But that is potentially scientifically explainable too, because there are a number of mammals, both aquatic and land-based, that can play with sound on a biological level. That is actual science, believe it or not. I'm kind of getting bugged out, so I'm going to do a segment break and give them more of a moving target. But that is my thought on that, and it's probably the most banter I have for this video. There's really just, the weather sucks, and it's buggy and muggy and cold and wet. So I am going to be back in a bit. We'll see what happens. God forbid one of them walks out into the open and shakes my hand and solves this thing in the next 10 minutes. But if not, we'll be back as things occur. Thanks. We're going to do our outro here because apparently there are some rednecky individuals shooting things in the distance, and that is calling safety into question, seeing as there's nothing in hunting season right now. They're just out there shooting things that are sounding more dicey than I want to deal with. So we're going to end this one here, such as it is. So YouTuber banter, like, subscribe, leave comments as you want, ask questions, suggest what you would like to see have me do, if you want to see me do something different. And we're gonna end this one here. And as always, thank you for listening. We hope you enjoy what I do, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.